all you wonderful people. This is Chad Warren. What's going on? It's Wednesday, April 12th, 2023, 9:26 a.m. Current location, Brady Mountain Road out to the west of Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is my hometown. This is the Ouachita National Forest. Okay, so the purpose of this video is to share something that I just found that I value. Okay, so this is a game of show and tell. Who is the audience for this video? Two I can think of right from the get-go. My general purpose in terms of communicating with the public on and offline is to learn, develop, share, and cooperate, to focus on the connection between being very individualistic and to persuade people that that doesn't mean that you're all by yourself. It doesn't mean that you're afraid of groups. What it does mean is that the best value I have to contribute to the group is a combination of discovering who I am, what I was put on this earth for, and who I need to relate with, and what we need to be doing. Because in general, I see that an evolution, a revolution, is occurring because of the interaction of humans and internet technology like I'm using to communicate with you right now, including social media and all of it. So that what I see that needs to come out of that and that will come out of that, and that's what I want you to be a part of, is that the same thing is occurring now in a way as what happened with the fall of Rome. When Rome fell, the Dark Ages were not so dark in the sense that what sprang up out of that were bastions, walled fortress cities where people looked for strong leaders who were successfully building a culture that they wanted to be a citizen of. So, such a thing is occurring today, but it's happening in the virtual world. It's more important that we connect with whomever, wherever, based on our common interests. But at the same time, we know that this system of the internet and electricity and power and all of this can and probably will be severely disrupted since we're in World War III, which is birthing this not so new world order, which is going to be probably similar to the American Revolution in that it's going to be a combination of tyranny and freedom. But I think the positive is that we can look back and see that America probably never really gained its freedom. If it did, it was very short-lived and taken over by the British through groups like the Freemasons and stuff. So that it really operated more as a camouflage of goodness, so that the same royal families that push drugs on the people of China, and now they're over there in China pushing drugs on the American people with fentanyl, just like we pushed opium on them. And of course, none of this is being controlled by the actual people of the world. It's by these few who think they're better than us. And so I'm looking for the people that understand that we act like consumers and slaves and subscribes within the status quo, and that really these problems are more our fault than the people at the top of this pyramid of material power that we all depend on in order to pay our bills and whatever. Because I think that the situation of life, both in political power as well as our spiritual relationship with life and death, is in order for us to survive and thrive, we need this threat of world war and nuclear war and all these terrible, all this, stuff that you experience in the conspiracy and truth-seeking community of, oh my God, the phone's killing you, it's shooting you with microwaves, and all this terrible truth. That's just, even if it's true, it's demoralizing. That all has to happen to cause this human immune response, which is people like me figuring out that I have to find the other people that understand what I'm talking about, and that we choose to associate, so that one day, like my son who's 13, hopefully I will be able to hand to him what I have learned from using these tools, so that we can more readily co-create the world that we want to live instead of depending on systems that see us as irrelevant and needing to be replaced by technology and exterminated, because they don't need us anymore and we don't need them. So that's the big kind of general picture. So anybody can participate in this show and tell game, because really it's, do you understand me? Are you interested to play? And the hardest part that I notice is that, do you have faith in yourself? Because what I notice is that even if I'm talking to somebody that is very successful, working for these companies and all this, they're in the same boat that I am in, which is, how can I be successful more independently versus depending on these systems that don't have my best interest at heart, and then all that money that I have isn't as attractive as it may seem if I don't have any time with my family. You see what I'm saying? So that really, from all walks of life in terms of social class and where you live in the world and all this, so we really have more in common than we don't. But you have to be willing to do the work to make things better. Like if I look at Christianity, all these people have left, right? So in general, I'm somebody that's always been good about being critical, but eventually you have to step over that hurdle and you have to be the people that work to make something that does work. So if you see this need that nobody's going to come and rescue us, we're going to have to create novel solutions just to survive. And if we do that, just like we learned from what happened in the Great Depression in America, some people did very well. Companies like U-Haul and Weyerhaeuser spraying out of that chaos of destruction and reconstruction. Okay, so that's the general show and tell. I'm looking for feedback. I'm genuinely looking for you to share with me and to find the courage to share the homework of really where you're at. I mean, yeah, we can create slick presentations, but I think this time that we're living in is about digging into the messiness of our shadow self as an individual and our shadow self as a people, a species, a human species, together. So kind of like group therapy. That reminds me of Alcoholics Anonymous. If you notice, these groups use these symbols like a triangle with a circle and a square or some variation of this. That's because these are based on fraternal organization that was used in the Middle Ages around the trade. Uh, what's the process? Like Leonardo da Vinci, he would have been sent to somewhere like Florence to learn how to be a master artist. So they had what's the name of that system where you have an apprentice? It's just where labor unions came from. This is why people join the Freemasons today, because they want to learn what were the skills of the people that built the pyramids. That's kind of part of that story. Like, or later, these men traveled around Europe, and even though there was all these wars, they had a rite of passage because they knew these codes to demonstrate that they were part of this secret society, who were these smarter people that could build the cathedrals. And there's always been this amazing blend that it's actually the technicians that keep growing into prominence. If you go into the ancient times, it would have been the architect of building the pyramids that really was more valuable than the king or queen, the executive of the system. And then of course now we're to the point to where the technology, so much will of men and women has been put into these machines that it is like a corporation, which is the will of a person on a piece of paper. It's living beyond that person's physical life. So artificial intelligence is nothing new. Books completely radicalized us, and a lot not for the better, because now people are taught to be socially ashamed of themselves and get perceptions of insignificance because of the way popular media creates a worldview that you are a replaceable cog within a wheel dependent upon, you know, Klaus Schwab and Elon Musk and whatever their Willy Wonka industrialism can produce. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is speak to this other audience, which would be people that are interested in making money on and offline, and they want to grow a network of people they like, know, and trust so that they can profit and grow a business that they manage as an entrepreneur. In that regard, I'm going to read from an ebook that is free, and it comes to me from a website I'm going to recommend to you. If you are somebody that wants to get more sales, get more people looking at your website, then these are the free tools I'm going to share with you in order to do this. So this is how to get one sign up a day. Let's just see. This is my website, chad-warren.com. This is my home in the virtual world. And then Lead Sleep is this free tool that teaches you how to market and gives you the tools to do it, such as you're getting all kinds of free marketing training here. You're learning. This is an example of what you can do. Once you learn something, and we all know something, this is what people that, if you want to learn how to have a YouTube channel, all of us have something that is valuable to other people. It's our job to learn how to find that and to share that through communication with people. But in this example, this is demonstrating what you can do is create an ebook, right? That's going to make people see you as an expert. That is going to be a key component of the network marketing model, which really is just as valuable if you're wanting to network marketing is about education as much as it's about communication and entrepreneurship. So this is good for anybody that wants to, create a class and teach people stuff. But the point of it is that whomever Andre Zunde is has his name on this ebook and has probably used Lead Sleep for a long time and developed a relationship with them so that they would work in cooperation in this way, because it's a win-win. It helps Lead Sleep to have content to offer you, to see them as a place where you can learn how to be successful as a marketer, and it helps Andre to have a venue to share this experience. And of course, a key component. I'm sharing this to the general audience as well, because I think that just as in the past, people defined, hey, we need to have core literacy. That was a big part of the public school movement in the Little Red Schoolhouse in America, for example. A Little House on the Prairie and all that, so that people learn to read and write, and in the past, people would have only had the Bible that would have been acceptable for poor people to read and write unless you were really wealthy. So too, I think that we are going to be able to hand off to the next generation what we consider to be core competency that we, the people of the world, define more so than the Rockefeller types who virtually bought the entire education system because they wanted to create workers as opposed to thinkers who could actually solve problems on their own without being codependent to a toxic consumer system of slavery. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I'll have the links how you can receive this book, as well as free access to Lead Sleep. And we'll find the PDF I have downloaded. Here it is. Doop. One sign up a day. Oh, I'm going to have to bust out the reading glasses, I can tell. Now, they're in my fanny pack. This is an interesting product. All of these cheap reading glasses now come with a blue light filter because these computers screens are hurting our eyes. So they have these for children as well. So learning about new trends is exciting, and it's time that we start taking a more active role in distributing this information and these products, etc. How I generated one sign-up a day for my business. In 2008, I joined a leads generation system called Lead Sleep. That is a clickable link within this PDF there you see in blue. At that time, the system generated an average of 1 sign up a day for the business that I was promoting. Soon, I got to know the founder, Kenneth Coe, through a few support correspondences. Now, I can just assume and tell you that I bet what happened is Kenneth Coe was a marketer. And one of the, what I feel is unhelpful and deceptive is that, and that one of the key problems with the network marketing model is it gives a false sense to the newcomer that anybody can easily follow these instructions on how to be a successful business person. And the main difference between, going to the AT&T store and getting a job selling cell phones versus learning about business this way is that you have a lot more freedom and potential to earn, but you have to have the critical thinking skills and the motivation to be a good student and teacher yourself. You have to be very self-motivated. So, you see, maybe it is a product. That's typically what happens, is that you see a product that attracts you. I was attracted to Isante Organics because of using the product. I saw a picture of Power Pops suckers, which I do sell, and they taste amazing. They're like homemade organic suckers, so they're just amazing. I don't even eat candy, and I like it, literally. One last night blew my mind. You get 30 different ones in a bag you can do. One of them was cinnamon, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to like this. But it was so lightly done. You see what I'm saying? That whole gourmet thing. But more importantly than that, they suppress appetite naturally, and they give you energy. Are you kidding me? So this is a good use for network marketing because people haven't heard of this product. They're willing to pay more for it because they can't just get it anywhere else. It's new to the market. And this is attractive in terms of a business because you can make money reselling it. And that you, instead of putting all that money into the locations of a retail brick and mortar store for AT&T and hiring employees and all that, this leaves more money on the table between the people that run the company and the sales force, because you're not spending it on driving to work and all these other things. But the problem with that is that what ends up happening both from these companies as well as the people that are your superiors, that you click the link, they have their identity tied to it. So if I buy some gold from Mint Builder, that person's going to get a commission. So that person is supposed to be your mentor and able to show you what they have learned, and to most importantly, they show you this system so you don't have to be bothering them all the time. That's one of the key differences. You're not calling up your boss when there's a problem as much as knowing how to be the boss. And there you go. And very few people that I have seen are really very good at that. There are typically these people that are very good at getting you to put money down for their product or their training system, but then they just vanish once you get in the door. So they're good at getting new business, but they're not good at actual training. And then the key problem is that, again, we often are not good at developing a system, just a paper journal or on your phone, let alone more complex, to say, am I putting forth effort each day? What am I doing specifically? What is the real world outcome I intend for this? How do I measure the success? Just like if you had a farm, you'd have to be doing all this accounting, or a business, you have to do all, even if you have just a small yard care business, you figure out real quick that really more important than you mowing those lawns is you figuring out how much am I spending, how much am I receiving. Okay. So, sorry to digress, or maybe I'm not, but let's look more at what we got here. So that was my assumption about why Kenneth Coe has this Lead Sleep company, because you're basically figuring out how to make a better mousetrap, how to make this a better system. And that's how the One Sign Up a Day report was born, after this guy met the Kenneth Coe from Lead Sleep. Time flies, businesses rise and fail. Many popular leads generation systems back then are now no longer seen, but Lead Sleep continues to flourish, and my network in Lead Sleep continues to grow, even though I haven't promoted it for years. I think Lead Sleep is a really good blend between traditional business skills in the online world. And it, doesn't have the super flashy look of a brand new kind of website, but in a way that's good, because that means you're around people that are really doing this. So it's like, let's cut the shit. You know what I mean? This is serious business people talking to people that want to be serious business people. So if you design it using the more older style website design, it's gonna be cheaper and more dependable. In this updated report, One Sign Up a Day 2.0, I'll share with you what Lead Sleep has done for me over the years. I'll also share with you my experience in getting clicks and how I convert clicks into signups. At the end of this report, you will also learn how you can use this report to help you achieve the same result for your business. What was Lead Sleep? Lead Sleep was started in 2008 as a 10-level leads generation system. At that time, most leads generation systems worked by allowing members to email their leads. Kenneth reckoned that such a system is not sustainable, hence he started Lead Sleep. Instead of sending email promotions to leads, Lead Sleep members post AdWord-like ads in the newsletters sent to their 10 levels of leads. Let's think about that real quick. Okay, so like I was saying about these older tools really being valuable amongst actual people that work for a living doing this stuff online, email being something that my understanding is you're going to get a higher level of people actually looking at the content and responding to it than you will to any other form of marketing, such as ads on Instagram, etc. Because people see email as like some kind of private, like your phone number. It's just like a part of you. And whereas if you're on social media, you tend to think of it more as an ad that you are somebody's trying to get your attention. That's what it is. Whereas people feel that their inbox of their email is personal. So even if they're annoyed by these spam emails, you feel that you can just filter those out, or this kind of a thing or whatever. But you just have more control over it, I guess. But okay, so back then they were thinking about switching away from so much of that, it sounds like. Uh, and I think I see here, I think that they're saying they like social media. This is probably learning from social media. So what they're doing is that people don't are going to run away from what they see as a sales pitch. But if they see something that is what they consider to be good content in a newsletter is this other amazing thing that's still more valuable, just like the email is. Making your own newsletter is better than groups on social media and stuff in many ways. Yeah, just like a customized newspaper. Uh, so people will look at this content because they perceived it to be valuable. Hey, these are experts in what I'm doing. Let me read about what they're doing. But these are really ads disguised as content. It's just more palatable that way, like a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. Okay. Yes. So Lead Sleep will teach you for free how to create these. You got a sales funnel, right? You got to, like, I've talked to a general audience, and then I focused it in on network marketers, and then you focus in and in and in, and then you start talking exactly that you learn how to talk to the people, get clear in your head, this is who I'm talking to, and then you learn how to create advertising that attracts those people to you, which would be the newsletter. If you are wondering if Lead Sleep approach is better, check out the following comments that I've extracted from a poll conducted by the company. Maricula, Kenneth, your initial idea and methodology was like a light bulb suddenly turned on, blacking out the other superfluous list email mongers. So that's a chief problem that happens when you try to learn to market, is there's too much information. And so it's all about whittling it down. And then even as a consumer or user of social media, that's something we have to get better at, right? I don't want to see this garbage. I want to see this. And then me, particularly, just in my dealings with people in general, I want to be able to look, this relationship as a friendship or my family or a lover or a business associate, I don't want to spend any energy on this unless we have a goal in common and we're working towards manifesting that so that we have something to show for our time. So I'm trying to bring some of that business vibe into just the very fabric of human relations itself. That's where business just takes human behavior and then codifies it, just like government and religion and science. So now it's about pulling it out of the institutions it's been in, like how the Bill of Rights is our values in the Constitution. All of that's degraded. So now we got to go, well, I still care about the freedom of speech and religion, but how am I going to do that? Because this system isn't working anymore. Patrick Judge, I don't think people realize the value of this system. I don't think they do either. And then even me, that I appreciate it, am I really using it properly? Thousands of emails in your inbox is not good. Hello? And let me tell you this. Do you hate marketers? Do you hate those calls about auto warranty calls? Well, I hate that crap too. But this is how you can learn to not act that way. And then all these posers, right, who are pretending to be business people. Hey, let me talk about Forex. Let me send you an unsolicited message in your direct message on Instagram. hey, advertise your page over on this page. How about no? How about get the fuck out of here? You know, nobody wants hundreds of emails in your inbox. So as much as I'm about freedom of speech, for example, I think that we need to do more and talk less. And there you go. The best thing about Lead Sleep is that Lead Sleep helps people to see our advertisements. And as more people join Lead Sleep, your ad will be seen by thousands. I can attest that I have probably the same experience that most people have that use Lead Sleep, is that we have struggled to use these systems and these tools. Lead Sleep does a great job of organizing it as a concept as well as a tool that you push the buttons to use, because you got to learn all this stuff. Email autoresponders, link rotators, how to make a splash page, how to track your links, all that stuff. So I'm just going to stop right here. So we've seen some basic techniques. And again, this is what I think should be core. Everybody in our lifetime, when you're dead, you should have a book like this that shares actual value with people, and some demonstration that you have achieved the goals that you put out. That's the interactive nature that needs to be a lot stronger. Is that I think anytime we consume content, whether it's a podcast or an audiobook, there needs to be, and I don't understand, it's funny to me that I complain, and rightfully so, about the Rockefellers taking over the education system, which is why they're pushing all this communism and stuff. But one thing in that is a more emotional and action based, so that if you read a textbook from school, I think they're the same as when I went to school, in that at the end of the chapter, now often the teacher didn't teach right off the book. They kind of, didn't really use all this, but the concept is supposed to be used, and I think it's a viable one, and it's that you're supposed to be asked questions and answer them at the end of the chapter of whatever you learn, so that you put this stuff into your own understanding. That's how you transition away from being one of these deluded consumers and thinking you're doing something, but you're not doing anything, whether it's talking about politics or talking about business or pursuing your dreams. And then we should be asked questions. Now go out into the real world and try to experiment and employ the concept that you just learned in the chapter. You see what I'm saying? Like, if a nuclear bomb went off and you didn't have school anymore, hell, if the kid knew how to read and they just followed the frickin' textbook, they'd probably do better than being taught by the teacher. I mean it, because every time I was in school, it's like, hey, you're not really following these rules. What the heck's going on here? All right, so that's enough about, and then they're demonstrating using these testimonials, right? And that's a big thing that Lead Sleep does, is they have a review system so that you can attract people to you as a teacher leader, as well as to your company that you represent with its product and services, by reviewing it. Okay, and this is like, that's what one of these things you learn in doing this. Okay, this is what's possible technically with this company, but what have you done? And how can I learn it based on what you've actually done? That's what Lead Sleep's going to help you do. It's going to help you brand your identity and all this kind of stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to download this ebook, right? And I'll tell you that this is a positive example of network marketing, because anybody can do this. I've just read from this to give you a taste of what the ebook is, right? And even though Andre, what's his name? Zunde wrote the book, right? and in association with Lead Sleep, who is distributing it, marketing it. When you sign up for free for Lead Sleep, which is what I think will happen once you pursue this link here, I'm going to get a commission from that in some fashion because of my relationship with Lead Sleep. And you can do the same thing today. You see, so that literally that process alone is how you get the one sign up a day. So that's what I like about all this. It's like you have to explain the concept, and then if your mind's working right, in my opinion, you start to figure out, holy shit, this is how you actually make money out of nothing, hardly of any material value, because it's the information that is infinitely valuable enough to sign up and put your email and go, hey, I trust Chad, I trust Andre, I trust Lead Sleep, because what they've showed me here today, these are the kind of people that I want to work with because they are genuinely wanting to help me and they're capable of it. Boom. That's how you literally climb the ladder of success. By copying the behavior of people that have been successful for you, not as some kind of blind automaton, but because you get it. So if this is attractive to you, I welcome you. So I want you to go to my website and check out the offers that I have there. I'll have a link for that. Let me just show you what I'm talking about specifically. Now, you can make a website for free. This is, again, something that should be as familiar as reading and writing. All right? So, because you have more freedom and control as a website operator than you do depending on your access to YouTube or Facebook, which they can cut you out for various reasons. They can't cut you out here nearly as easy. And you need to demonstrate to yourself and others that you are in charge of your spiritual life. You are in charge of who you are and how you represent yourself to others. Now, I'm beyond America. I'm beyond these religions and science and all that stuff. That's a big zeitgeist of the time that we're living in. You have all these options to be yourself, but you have to figure out who you are and what value you offer the market, or there's no need for it. So, at my website, you will see these two companies that I am a member of and I highly recommend. Now, let's say you're not interested in these products. Well, you ought to be interested in both of these companies as examples of how to run an organization. Let's say there's a Judith Reed Creative Zone, this woman I see on Facebook, and she does these live streams and she has classes for $7 that you can learn to do oil painting, etc. Well, she has a whole system. So if you want to learn how to make that, these are great companies, Mint Builder and Asante Organics, you can learn from. But they also have great products and resale potential that I use. So check out Mint Builder if you want the cheapest price on gold and silver. Check out Asante Organics if you want to learn about and remove the thousands of toxic ingredients that are in your body by 9 in the morning because you've taken a shower and put shampoo and stuff on your face and toothpaste in your mouth. And you have to learn that the government legally allows there to be literal toxic waste poisons, that because if they didn't, then those companies would have to pay to dispose of those things. So the masses of people, we keep buying this literal poison from McDonald's and Walmart. So if we show them that we don't care, then aren't they kind of right to treat us like slaves that they poison and kill? I mean, you see what I'm saying? You got to figure out how to navigate this stuff, or you're not going to be allowed to be a part of the future. I'm sorry to break it to you. So you're going to get blog articles as well. And please join the newsletter, and you can contact me through here. And please like, comment, and share these articles. And then, so there's the ebook to learn about lead sleep and how to get one sign up a day, which is a great free marketing tool. And then there's my website if you want to learn more about me and to cooperate with me, because I'm all focused on cooperative systems to be the solution that we want to see, as opposed to ignoring or complaining about stuff and depending on broken systems like national presidential elections. Okay, thank you very much.